Oscar season is over and the UK have basically now gotten all of the big award season movies that America got months ago. There were 3 I was especially looking forward to that I saw opening weekend, and those are the 3 I'm going to be talking about today. These include Uncut Gems, The Lighthouse, and recent Best Picture winner Parasite. We've got a lot to discuss in this video, so let's get straight into it. Uncut Gems is the 5th film from the Safdie brothers, and in my opinion possibly the best movie that they've done to date. Although I didn't really like their first couple movies, everything they've done since, and including Heaven Knows What, has been really great. I loved their last movie Good Times, so I was incredibly excited for Uncut Gems, especially after seeing all the hype surrounding it. I saw it in a small cinema a week before its Netflix release, and it was easily one of the best cinema experiences I've had in the last couple years. This film is one of the tensest and most stressful movie watching experiences you'll ever have. There is so much anxiety and pressure pushed onto the main character that the film at times is incredibly uncomfortable to watch. This is because of not just the quick cuts and incredibly fast-paced editing, the performances from everyone, especially Adam Sandler, the Safdie's direction, but also the incredible score which perfectly blends the synth-heavy sounds of Vangelis and Tangerine Dream with more new age sounds. It's one of the best scores of the year. Darius Condit's cinematography is absolutely stellar, and there are some fantastic shots in the movie that have been stuck in my head since I saw the movie. My favourite one being one in the very last few minutes, but talking about that would definitely be leading into spoiler territory, so I'll just let that stew in your brain for when you eventually see it if you haven't. The performances are all great in this film. I love the Idina Menzel and Lakeith Stanfield, but easily the best performance in the film is from Adam Sandler. I've always said that when he tries, he can give a good performance, and this film is proof of that. This is most possibly his best performance to date, or at least his best performance since Punch Drunk Love. He has a lot of really funny moments in the film, but the majority of this performance is really serious and he absolutely nails it. I've seen a lot of people saying it's just a decent performance and is only being praised because of his comedic background, but I cannot disagree more. He is fantastic in this movie. He really was perfect for the role, and there is no one that could have played it other than him, I don't think. It would have been interesting to see how Jonah Hill did it, because he was meant to be playing this character before Adam Sandler signed on, but I really don't think he would have done anywhere near as good as this, and the film probably would have suffered because of it. Compared to the Safdie's previous movies, this is much grander and bigger than anything they've done before, but at the same time there is something incredibly claustrophobic in the movie, and this only amplifies as the film progresses. The film is a huge triumphant statement for the Safdies, displaying perfectly who they are and showing just how talented they are. Their direction is top notch, the script is fantastic, everything about this movie is just incredible. Had it come out last year in the UK, it probably would have overtaken Midsummer for my favourite film of 2019, or maybe my second favourite, because there's one that would have topped it coming up in this video. But as it stands, this is a fantastic movie and it's already right at the top of my 2020 list. I give Uncut Gems 5 Adam Sandler cum faces out of 5. I have waited what has felt like forever to finally see The Lighthouse. It came out in October over in America and it's already out on Blu-ray over there as well, but A24 hates the UK for some reason, so we had to wait till the end of January. Robert Eggers is one of the most exciting and fresh directors coming up in the movie scene at the moment. His debut The Witch was a near masterpiece and easily one of my favourite horror movies of the 2010s. His follow-up The Lighthouse isn't quite as good in my opinion, but this is still a really great movie. The entirety of the movie is set on a small remote island where there's nowhere to escape to, and that is something you constantly feel throughout the movie. As the tension and atmosphere increases, you just feel more and more trapped in the scene. While a lot of the movie does just show the day-to-day work life of a 19th century lighthouse keeper, as the film progresses it gets more surreal, insane, and incredibly bizarre. So much of the film is very weird and I don't really understand what happens. Eggers' direction is absolutely perfect at creating this almost abstract and experimental tone which seems heavily indebted to early 1900s cinema. The film is black and white, has a completely mono audio track, and is shot in an almost completely square aspect ratio. There are shots and scenes that remind me of some of the German expressionist cinema, especially in some of the more surreal dream sequences. The lenses they used were made in the 1930s, movies. The film was overly lit on set because it was the only way you could really see things in this black and white style. I feel really bad for the actors because apparently it was super hot on set and no one could really see anything at all. The set design is absolutely stunning as well and feels so real that I had no clue they built it all for the film till watching the behind the scenes documentary on YouTube I found. The film is basically a completely two-man movie with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe being the only characters in the movie, and both of them give two of the best performances of their career. Robert Pattinson is fantastic, but not quite as great as he was in Good Time, but still really great, and Willem Dafoe is absolutely stunning, giving easily the best performance in the film and a performance that deserved an Oscar nomination that it was sadly snubbed from getting. The weird style of the film essentially lets them just go insane and overact as much as they can, and it's incredibly entertaining to watch. It also makes a lot of scenes really creepy because you feel like these characters really are losing their minds. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful, and this is one of the best shot movies I've seen in the last decade. There are points that are funny, points that are weird and surreal, and points that are downright frightening. I left the cinema almost shaking, which is something that very few horror movies do to me. I can see myself changing my mind on the film and falling deeper in love with it in the future, but for now, I give The Lighthouse 4.5 mermaids out of 5. And now we have this year's Best Picture winner, Parasite, the first ever foreign language movie to win Best Picture, as well as the first ever South Korean film to receive any Oscar nominations. I saw the movie the day before the Oscars, and as soon as I saw the movie, I knew that if any other film won the Best Picture, they would be robbing this movie. Parasite is an absolute masterpiece. Director Joon-ho Bong created a movie that is a hilarious, dark, and incredibly well-made look at class status. It does it way better than Us ever did. The film, despite its 2-hour length, never loses its fast pace. The first half of the film is hilarious and incredibly entertaining, then suddenly the film snaps and it becomes super tense, exciting, and downright disturbing at points. It kind of feels almost like two different films stitched together, but at the same time it does feel pretty singular. Because there's a constant layer of darkness hidden under the humour, when the thriller side of the movie comes out, you aren't completely shocked. The script is absolutely top notch, it's really funny, it's unique. I've literally never seen a movie quite like this. It's easily one of the most original movies I've seen in forever. The film seamlessly blends different genres together without ever feeling out of place. It stays constantly entertaining to watch from beginning to end. The performances from the entire cast are really great. Song Kang-ho and Choi Woo-sik are both especially really great in the movie and give two of my favourite performances of the year. Bong manages to say a lot in this film in such a short runtime, which I think is incredibly impressive. Every single scene is important to the story, and its story is one that, although works best in its setting, is universal enough to appeal to audiences all around the world. Admittedly, I have a very limited knowledge of South Korean cinema, but this film has made me want to broaden my horizons and explore more of that world. I will especially be seeing more of Joon-ho Bong's movies, and will keep an eye out for what he does in the future. This film is probably the Best Picture winner of the last few years, and I'm glad to see its UK release has been a huge success so far. I saw it in a packed screening on the day before the Oscars, and I've heard from other people that have seen it since that it's still generating a large audience. It's not just an important piece of film history now, but it's a genuinely really great movie that I highly recommend everyone see, even if you're skeptical about seeing a foreign language movie. And I'm going to give Parasite 5 killer peaches out of 5.
Pasta briccolini will not cook you no linguini. Don't you know we specialize in one thing, that's the pizza pie. If you think the family's ready for a plate of good spaghetti, start